Hello again. In a previous video I showed you how I make these little snowmen, and this video is going to be an actual series of 3 different hats and scarves that you can make for your snowman. So this one I used Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Red with a Yarn Bee For the Moment Husky for the brim. And another color you can use if you want a little sparkly is this I Love This Yarn Metallic Red. And this is Yarn Bee For the Moment Cream. The only items that we're going to need to make these are our hook, which I'm using a size G or a 4.0, a needle, and some scissors. We're going to start with 12 half double crochets in a ring. So I'm just going to loop it over, go in and grab the yarn, pull it up, pull the yarn through to anchor it, secure it, and then we'll do 12 half double crochet. So we just yarn over, go through the ring, pull our yarn through, and we have 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and just pull through all 3. Do that again. Yarn over, go through the ring, grab the yarn, pull it up, pull it through all 3. That's a half double crochet. So we need 12 of those in our ring. And what I like to do is when I get half a dozen of those half double crochet on the ring, then I go in and I tighten up my ring a little bit, not all the way. I still want a little room to work in there, but then I just kind of pull my string over, and then I can hang on to that instead of trying to mess around with that ring. So we need 6 more. All right, now we can tighten up that ring. So I'll just do a slip stitch in there, chain 1, and now I'll start the second round, which is just 12 half double crochet. So I'm just going to do a half double crochet in each stitch around. There's 1, 2, 3, and our last one. All right, now we can do our slip stitch to join and chain 1. And for this round we're going to do an increase every other stitch. So in the first one we're just going to do a half double crochet, and in the next one we're going to do 2 half double crochets. There's 1, I'm going to go right back into the same stitch, do another. We're going to do that all the way around. So you do 1 in the next one, and then 2 in the next, and just do that all the way around. At the end of the round, we'll just do our slip stitch and chain 1. And then the next round we're just going to do a half double crochet around in each one, so we're no increase. We're just going to do a half double crochet in each one. And you should have 18. Alright, here's our last one. And we need to do our slip stitch, chain 1. In the next one we're going to do an increase after every 2 stitches. So we're going to start with a half double crochet in one, do that again, 1 half double crochet in the next, and then 2 in the next. There's 1 and 2. We're just going to repeat that around. So we're going to do 1 in that one, 1 in the next, and 2 in the next. Here's our last one. Now we do our slip stitch, chain 1. Now for this round, there's no increase, so we're just going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way around, and you should have 24 stitches when you're done. We do our slip stitch, chain 1. Now we're going to do an increase after every 3. So in the first one we do a half double crochet, in the second one we do 1, in the third one we do 1, and then 2 in the next. Just repeat that all the way around. So there's 1, there's 1, and there's 1. Now 2. Our last one with 2 in the same one, do our slip stitch, chain 1, and for this round we're just going to do no increase, so we'll just do a half double crochet all the way around, and you should have 30 stitches at the end of this round. Alright, last one. We'll do our slip stitch, chain 1, and this is the last time we're going to increase, so we're going to do 4. There's 1, 1 in the second one, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and then 2 half double crochet in the next stitch. we'll repeat that all the way around. So one in the first, one in the second, one in the third, one in the fourth, two in the next. Two in our last one, our slip stitch, chain one, and the next two rounds we're just going to do the half double crochet in each one. And there should be 36. So go ahead and go around and do 2 rounds this time. Alright, we'll finish it off with a slip stitch, and instead of chain one, we're going to grab our fur. Something that you are going to want to do before you cut your yarn is double check and make sure that the hat is going to fit, because depending on what yarn you're using or the tension that you have on your stitches, it's going to vary in size. So you can just take your hat and stretch it out just a little bit and see if it's going to work. And we're going to be adding one more round with the brim, so I'd say that's looking pretty good. So, which is a good thing because I already cut my yarn. So let's add our brim. I'm just gonna got my loop on the hook there, and I'm just going to grab my yarn, hold it down with my finger, and grab the yarn and pull it through, and we'll go ahead and give it a chain there, and then in each stitch all the way around we're going to do a half double crochet. With this yarn it's going to look quite busy, so it's going to be impossible to see the stitches, but we've already been doing half double crochets, so it shouldn't be too complicated other than to try to figure out where that yarn is. And yeah, that's it. Just keep going with the half double crochet all the way around in every stitch, and you're just going to have to trust your instincts. And you know what, if you miss a stitch or two, this stuff is super forgiving, so it's probably gonna be okay if you miss one or two or more. Well, that was challenging. These special yarns are sure fun to the look of them, but boy, working with them is quite the challenge. All right, there's our last one. We'll just pull it up, leave a long enough tail to tie it to the other end. Something else we want to do is tighten that ring. Just going to go back and forth a couple of times. Probably ain't going anywhere, but you just never know. And we're going to want to, I think with that one, we'll just tie it around one of the other ones. Everybody's nice and secure now. Next we need a palm. So I'm just going to use this fur and do a slip stitch. You're going to have to trust me on that one. And then I'm going to chain 2 and go back into the first chain and do 3 single crochet in that ring. So we're just making a little ball of fluff. After you do the 3 single crochet, then you just pull it through and leave a tail because you're going to want to run it through the hat. Whew, this fur is, I'm eating it. All right. And then we just rough it up. We're going to go ahead and tie a knot like so. And it makes a little ball. Now, to get this yarn on your hook, it's got a little fabricy side, so I just fold it over. You can fold it over your needle like that and pinch it, then you can push it through. Then that whole mess of stuff can go through there. Now we're going to go down just to the side of the center with one of those strands. Fold it over our needle. Push it through. Now we're going to go, we went down over this side of the center, now we're going to go on this side of the center. Just going to pull that through. Turn it inside out. Make sure you got all the slack out of there. Tie it up. That's not going anywhere. And then I just kind of roll it up because some of that yarn is, or that fluff is kind of buried in the stitch, so you can kind of pull it out. Looks really good. Oh my gosh. Just love it. All right, let's do that scarf. So here's this fun little scarf. There's a whole bunch of different scarves. So each one's got its own style. So you can choose a hat and choose a scarf. For this scarf, you're going to want to chain 52. Now the next row, we're just going to do a single crochet across, and I like to work in the back bumps. All that means is instead of working in this top row of loops, I'm going to turn it just a little bit, turn the whole thing, and I'm looking for the back bumps that go along back here. So in the second one from the hook, just going to do a single crochet, and then just single crochet all the way across. All right. Now, before you cut your yarn, I would recommend, again, a little test to make sure that your scarf's going to be big enough. So we just want to wrap it around and then have a little extra to hang down. So this is looking good. Different yarns vary, different tensions vary, so you may have to add a few stitches or maybe even lose a few. So now we're going to cut that color. All right, for our next row, we're going to actually turn our work over to the other side. We're going to start over here. And this is the front, and this is the back. We want to work in this front. We're going to put a slip stitch, slip knot on our hook, and do a single crochet in the first stitch so we can go through both loops. It's always the hardest getting started. And then we'll just do a single crochet, and then in the next one we're not going to put, we're just going to go into the back loop only. So there's your front and back loop. We just want the back loop. And then the next one, we're going to do a double crochet, but we're going to go down here and we're going to grab this stitch off the previous row. So we're going to yarn over, go down into that previous row stitch, yarn over, pull it up. You've got 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the other 2. It's called a drop double crochet, I think. But we're just going to repeat that across. So in the next stitch we want to do, we're going to skip this one that's right behind that stitch. We're going to go into the next one and just go into that back loop and do a single crochet. And then for the next one, we're going to do that drop double crochet again. So we're going to yarn over, go down there and pick up that loop off the bottom row there, grab the yarn, pull it through. You got 3 loops on your hook, pull it through 2, pull it through 2. So now this is the stitch that's right behind this stitch, the double crochet. We're going to go over to the next stitch, which is right here. We're going to go single crochet just in the back loop. We're going to do that all the way across. So we do the yarn over, go down to the bottom, grab that stitch, pull it through, and do our double crochet. So now we're skipping that stitch, and in the next one we'll do a single crochet in the back loop only. Now if this is too challenging, there are other scarves that are a lot more beginner friendly, and there'll be one at the end of both of the other hats in this set of 3 videos. So if you want to fast forward to one of those, you can always change the color of your yarn, but you can do that same. They're a lot more beginner friendly. So we'll continue on with this one. So now we're ready for our next stitch. So we're just going to yarn over, go down here to this next stitch, pull it up, pull through 2, pull through 2, and so we're skipping the one that's right behind the next one. We're going to go do a single crochet in the back loop only. So as we're going along, we're skipping a stitch along the bottom, and we're just going to yarn over. We're not going in this stitch, we're going to go in the next one there, go through there, pull our yarn through, pull through 2. So this is that next stitch, and so now we want to skip that one, and we want to go to the next one and do our single crochet. So in theory, you'll either have a single crochet in the back loop, or in your next, followed by a drop double crochet in the next stitch. Alright, we'll do one more, and then in the last stitch we'll just do a single crochet, go through both loops, and one more little chain there to tie it off. So I will admit that's a bit challenging, but it's kind of fun because it gives it a nice little row of texture. And I made a couple of mistakes on there, but I'm not going to worry about it. This next row, it's a lot easier. We're just going to do a single crochet. So we're just going to do a slip knot. We're going to start on this end, and we'll just do a single crochet all the way across. And we're going to go through both loops, front and back. I'm just going to go all the way across till we get to the end. We'll just finish it off. Cut our yarn. To add a fringe, all you need to do is just take your yarn and fold it over, grab it, actually we'll just put it right through there, then grab it, pull it through, you just have a little loop there, you grab your 2 tails, add a little bling, you just go in and pull the fibers apart like so. And you get a little more fluff that way. And just fold it over. Take that one, put it up through. In a previous video, I showed you how to make one of these snowmen, only he had a red hat. My pattern has 3 options, so I'm going to actually show you in this video how to make this one. And then in another video, we'll work on this guy. But for now, the items that you're going to need are, I used Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Counting Cloud, and then you're going to need scissors, your hook, I'm using a size H or a 5.0, and yarn needle and a stitch marker. All right, we're ready to get started. So our first round, we need 5 single crochet in a ring. I'm actually going to do the 5 single crochet in a magic ring. So to do that, I'm going to just wrap it around 3 of my fingers. I'm going to go right in there. Grab the yarn, pull it through, then I'm going to pinch it between my finger and thumb so I can let it go and switch hands. I'm going to pinch it between this finger and thumb, grab the yarn, pull it through, and this is our tightening tail. And so what we're going to do here is just kind of tighten it up a little bit, especially with this yarn. We don't want it to have to tighten it up too much because it does not like the magic, it does not like to be tightened. So we'll do 5 single crochet in this ring, in this loop, 2, 3, 4, and there's 5. And we're just going to pull and try not to break our yarn. And for our next round, we're going to do 5 increases, and that just means we're going to do 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in each stitch. And so we need to find our first one. It's in there somewhere. So it helps me to go backwards, counting the little humps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to grab those, that front and back loop there. And now I'm going to do 2 single crochet in this same stitch. Wow. That wasn't supposed to happen. All right, there we go. There's 1. Go right back into that same stitch. There's 2. We're going to do 2 in the second stitch. There's 1. There's 2. 2 in the third. 2 in the fourth. And 2 in our last one. Now we're going to stick that stitch marker in right there in our last stitch. And now for our next round, we're going to do 1 single and then an increase. We're going to do that 5 times. So we do 1 single in that stitch. In the next stitch, we're doing 2 singles. 1, 2. Put our stitch marker back in. For the next round, we're going to do 2 single crochet and then an increase. We're going to do that 5 times. So there's 1, 1 in the next, and then our increase. So then we do 2 in this one. We're going to do one more round where we do an increase, and that's so that we're going to have 3 single crochet and then our increase. So there's 1, 1, 1. So there's our 3, and then we do the increase. 1, 2 in the same one. Do that again. We're done with increases, and we're just going to do 25. We're just going to do a single crochet all the way around, and we're going to do that 6 times. So you're just going to go around and repeat and do that 6 times, and I will meet you there. We are ready to do the last round. Now, before I go any further, this is one that I've done before, and this is the one that I'm doing now. So obviously they look a little bit different, but this is going to stretch out just by pulling and tugging. And if you lost track or yours is looking smaller, you're just going to take your snowman and you're going to put it on. And remember, we got one more round to do, but if you need to, just add another round until it's big enough to put on his head. So remember, we're going to do one more round. One last round. All right, so this last round is going to have a twist. So we are going to start our single crochet and just kind of pull it up, and then we're going to get it nice and give yourself some extra room. We're going to do this little twist where we just go around, grab the yarn, and pull it through. You're going to do that again in the next stitch. Just keep your don't tug too tight. Keep your tension kind of loose. Pull it up. Give it a twist. And pull it through. Go in, pull it up, give it a twist, pull it through. I know it's a bit challenging, but if you can get it, you'll be rewarded with this really cool edging that is a nice finisher for a lot of different projects. I use it for my baskets and coffee cozies. I use it for a lot of different things. And then we are just going to finish it off, so I'm going to leave myself a little extra yarn to get it secured. Grab our yarn needle. I think we want to go from the back to the front. We're just going to loop it over just to blend it in. Now we can tuck our tail just to do a couple of stitches to get it anchored in here. We're going to stuff it up in here so we don't have to worry about weaving it in. And then we are going to go down here where we did our magic ring. I don't think that's going anywhere, but just to be on the safe side, we'll go back and forth a couple of times. Go back and forth a couple times. Again, that's just going to hide in our hat. There you go. Now we're ready to do the scarf. So we're just going to do a slip knot. And we're going to chain 50 to 55 or so. You just want it long enough to wrap around your snowman's neck and then have a little bit left over. Make it your own, however much you like. So we are just going to chain, chain, chain. Now we need to do a half double crochet. We're just going to do half double crochet all the way down, back down. So we want to make sure we don't get this all twisted up. And then you're going to go from into the third chain from the hook and do a half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, put it through the stitch, pull it up, and then pull it through all 3 loops on your hook. You're going to do that again in the next stitch. Pull it up, pull it through all 3. Yarn over, into the stitch, pull it back through, and then pull it through all 3. Yarn over, the next stitch, pull it through, and that's all we're going to do. We're just going to do that all the way down to the end. Obviously, you can do this in lots of different colors, types of yarn, whatever you like. Now to finish it off, I'm just going to do a little slip stitch right here. And then pull that up. Don't need that to be too long, because we are going to weave that in. Tie it off. So we can just take our tail, there's a little trick there. Just want to hide that in there. So you just send it through, making sure you're going through the center. This really isn't going to go anywhere. I'll do that for the other one. All right, now let's put it on there. So we're just going to wrap it around. Find about half. And we're going to stick the, I'm actually going to stick the front through the, just find a little gap in your stitches there and gently pull that through. And something you can do is to wrap it under, fold it over the top there. Ta-da! Now for our hat, you're going to want to take a strand of yarn and you're going to want to make it long enough that you can go all the way around the brim. Not that long. And then we're just going to take our yarn needle. I'm going to tuck that tail up in there, and then just right at the back of the head. Where'd your nose go? All right, this guy's been abused a little bit. He's my work in progress. And so then you're just going to go through the body. Oops. All right. And then you just come up through the, just above the brim. Put this on a blooper reel. All right. Try that again. And then just go about, I don't know, ½ inch or inch or so, and then just keep going around. Just go like that. And your yarn should just hide right in there. Oh, like that. Just keep, each time you make a stitch, you're just going to want to look up and make sure everything's still fastened where you want it to be. And just going to go all the way around. When you get done back to the back, you're just going to tie it off and voila, you'll be done. All right, and that is our gray hat and scarf. And so in the next video, I'm going to show you how I do the black hat with the red band. This is kind of a, I like this one. This is my favorite because it's kind of got a silky feel, velvety feel, and it reminds me of the silk hat. So see you in the next video. This is the last video in my little snowman series. We did a couple of other hat options, and now we're going to do this one with the black hat and the red brim. So what you're going to need is, I used Bernat Velvet. Blackbird is the color. And then for the brim, we're going to use Yarn Bee Velvety Smooth Red. And you'll need your hook, which I'm going to use a size H or a 5.0, yarn needle, scissors, and a stitch marker. So let's get started. For our first round, we need 6 single crochet in a ring. So we're going to wrap it around our fingers. Go in and pull the yarn through, and then just pinch it between your finger and thumb like that. So you can switch hands, reposition the yarn, and then I'm going to pinch it between this finger and thumb. I'm going to pull my yarn through that. This is really slippery yarn, so just kind of want to work it back and forth until it's tight. Got your tail here where you can tighten it this way, or if you need to, you can come over here and loosen it with this way. Right now we have it just big enough to fit 2 fingers in there. And pinching it tight. Do 6 single crochet. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I saved this hat for last because it's going to be really challenging with this black yarn to even see what we're doing here, but hopefully get the idea. And it's pretty forgiving too, like, so if you kind of miss a stitch, it's no big deal. So I'm just gonna feel my way here and find the first stitch. And so round 2 is 6 increase, which is just 2 single crochet in each stitch. So we should have 6 stitches. I think black yarn is most crocheters' nemesis. Alright, there's 2 in that one. We'll go 2 in the next. There's 1, 2. You really just kind of feel your way and feel for that next little loop. There's 1 and 2 in the third stitch. There's 1 and 2 in the fourth. Oops. One, 2 in the fifth, and then 1, 2 in the sixth. So we'll go ahead and put a stitch marker in there. And our next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. So we'll do 1 single crochet in the first stitch, and then we'll do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Do that again 6 times. So 1 in the next one, 2 in the next. If we did it right, we should have 18 stitches around. And it's a little bit of a guessing game with black yarn, so definitely why I saved this one for last. Alright, got our stitch marker in there. And our next round is going to be 2 single crochet and an increase. So we do 1 in the next 2 stitches and 2 in the next, in the third one there. So do 2 in this one. All right, do that again. 1, 2. So 1 in that one, 1 in that one. 2 in the next, and repeat. So this one we're going to do 3 single crochet and then our increase. So 3 singles, 1 single, 2 single, 3 single, and then a double. Well, not a double crochet, but 2 single crochets. And then we'll do that again. We'll do 1, 1, 1, and 2. Our last one, last set of 2 there. Now we're going to do 30 single crochets around. So we're going to do, just go around and just do single crochets. There's not going to be any increase in this round. And we're going to actually work just in our back loops. So that means is you have, with your stitch, you have a front loop and a back loop. And we just want it to go into the back loop. So again, we're just kind of doing this blind here, but you just kind of go around and you're not going through both like so, but you're just gonna feel it your way and get right in there in the back, in that back loop. And the reason for this, it's going to give us a little bit of a definition for our hat to kind of fold down. So it's going to give it a kind of a flat, little flatness to it. So I'll just go around and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I probably should have put a disclaimer on there that working with black yarn is not for the faint of heart. Alright, so now we're going to do 4 rounds of just doing the single crochet around, and this time we're going to work in both the front and the back loop, so just like normal. So we're going to put in our stitch marker. And we're going to work our way around, just doing single crochet all the way around. We're going to do that 4 times, 4 rounds. So you're just going to work your way around, move your stitch marker, go around again, repeat until you've done that 4 times. So for our last stitch of our 4th round, we are going to switch to red. So I'm going to just start the single crochet and just pull it up so it's like, and not finish the stitch. Then I'll grab my red and I'm just going to lay it right across there. Drop my black and just kind of hold on to it with my finger and thumb, and then pull the red through. Finish off that stitch with red. I'm going to leave the black. I'm not going to cut the black because we are going to switch back, so we'll just let it hang there. So for the next 2 rounds, we're still just going to do single crocheting all the way around. Couple more stitches and we are ready to change back to our black, and So I'm just going to not finish that stitch. I'm going to drop my red, grab the black, maybe give it a little bit of a tug just so it's to take out any slack there. Got it. Okay. And we'll just wrap it around, pull that through. Now we're going to, we can actually go ahead and cut that red to get it out of our way, but don't cut it too short. And we're going to do just another row of single crochet around till we get back to the beginning. Now we need to flare it out a little bit to do our brim. So we're going to do 2 single crochet and then an increase for the next round. So in that first one we're going to do 1, and then the next one we'll do 1, and then the next one we'll do 2. 1, 2 in the same stitch. So a single in the next stitch, a single in the next, and 2 singles in the next one. For our last row, we're going to just do 40 single crochet, or you know what? We may not even have 40, but who's going to know, right? So we're going to do a single crochet all the way around, but we're going to do this time in the front loop only, so we give it a little bit of a flip up. So what we're going to do is, instead of going all the way through, we're going to try to grab just the front loop and do a single crochet in that. Alright, that should be good. We're just going to pull that up, cut our yarn, fasten that off, put that through. I'm going to go through here just to kind of make it look a little more seamless, but again, this is going to be at the back of the head and sewn in, so it doesn't have to look real pretty. I'm just going to come around to the inside here. Just kind of secure it up a little bit so it doesn't unravel. And then this is going to go be tucked away on the inside. Might as well just run it down through a little bit. And all that's just going to go be tucked away on the inside. Now, if you want to, you can kind of stretch it out just a little bit. And then you might want to go in here in your starting tail and just kind of cinch that up just a little bit. Make sure it's tight. Don't be careful not to break it. We're just gonna go find a little spot to go back and forth a couple of times. Probably spread it around a little bit. so it doesn't go away, get away from us. All right, good enough. And now we probably should go back where our beginning and end were and tie those together so they don't come loose. You can either leave that on there, or I am going to trim that up just a little bit. So when you put this on the snowman, you're just going to put it on and then take a long strand with your yarn needle and just start at the back and just go through the head and then under the brim, and then just go around that brim, just around like that, because you're using black, so you want to stay in the black, and just sew around all the way around the head. And you have a little brim that you can roll up, roll down. There he is. We're done. Thanks so much for watching.